Arizona. I'm about to knock out my last and final state park to camp at. Right now we're on the 89A and we're heading up to Mingus Mountain. We're going to drop down the little mining town of Jerome. This section of the 89A is probably the most windy and twisty, and dragging the trailer behind me today, so this should be interesting. Since the last video, I've had the Tacoma reprogrammed and tuned with an OTT tune, and I gotta say, it really made a world of difference. Now, is it as good as regearing? Probably not, but it really helps out. Now this truck's sitting on 33-inch tires. It is loaded down with some extra gear, and my trailer's coming in about 2,200 pounds loaded. And this section of the 89A is pretty steep and windy. It's pretty slow going. Probably going to be sitting in second and third gear in manual-matic. The truck does okay, but in all reality, I mean, it'd be a lot nicer to have a bigger truck with some more power. Even though that's a little trailer, and some people do tend to tow with a bigger version of the tab, I don't really recommend it, and it's not that fun. But it's just doable enough to get the job done. So I'm going to leave the stereo off. Maybe you can hear the truck winding up and down. After the tune, it tends to put the truck in a way better RPM range. And in ECT mode, it tends to hold a gear a lot longer and a lot better. So no more up and down shifting back and forth. But you should always keep it in manual-matic. That way you don't burn out your transmission. So right now we're cruising in third gear. No problem at all. I barely have my foot in it. We're only doing about 30. And the road is getting steeper. And as you can see, the bends here are pretty tight. We're going to downshift into second. And it pulls through okay. Nothing too great. My foot's in it. And it's slowly picking up. We're back at 30. See if we can pull this hill in second gear. And we're getting up to about 25. It is pretty tight and windy. So we just got to take our time here. Let the truck do its work. Go for third. About 35. That's not too bad. I think right now we are at an elevation of probably 5,500 feet, maybe 6,000. So the air is getting thinner and the truck's struggling. But overall, it's not too bad when you're towing with a smaller truck and a smaller trailer. Yeah, we're coming up on a pretty tight turn here. This is a 15 mile an hour. And signs and speed limits aren't too far off. I think we're going to have to go for first gear on this one. This is tight. A little bit bogged in second, but it's pulling through. Tune's helping it keep it in the torque band. If you ever take a drive in Arizona, this is the one to do. And if you can see that up ahead, the mountain still has some snow on it. It's 56 degrees outside. Absolutely perfect day. does help having a smaller, narrower truck on these windy roads, especially a short trailer. So we had a downshift there. Need a little bit more RPM to pull it out and up the hill. And right now we are about to top out at 7,000 feet. This is the top of Mingus Mountain. And now we're going to start our descent down towards the town of Jerome. So I'm just going to downshift her into second and let the engine do some of the braking. Look at all that snow. And this truck engine brakes pretty well. For trailer brakes, I'm running the Red Arc Elite. So this has two different parameters. One that kind of puts it in a normal trailer brake mode, where it just kind of lets the trailer do braking. And right now I'm in a progressive mode, I think they call it. So it'll actually progress as you put more brake pedal in. It will adjust the trailer brakes to the same force that the truck is getting. So if you have it dialed in right, it will seem almost fluid between the truck and the trailer. Pretty neat setup. And right now we're gonna continue winding and weaving our way down this mountain. And I'm gonna cut the video out until we get to the town of Jerome. Show you how wild that is. The whole town is just built like a step ladder on the side of the hill or the mountain. And some of the turns through that town are going to get pretty darn tight. Out in the distance, you can see parts of Sedona and Humphreys Peak out in Flagstaff. About to enter the town of Jerome. It's pretty crazy. The road winds and weaves its way above and below the houses and shops. Jerome's an old mining town. Now it's just a tourist destination. I'll tell you what, it's pretty tight for dragging a trailer through. If you do come through here on a weekend, you're going to notice it is extremely crowded. Lots of neat shops, some good places to eat. The Haunted Hamburger is excellent. Cool haunted hotels. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Some of these houses just sit right off the edge. And there's the whole town sitting up there. Pretty wild. Yeah, this is probably one of the best drives in Arizona. If you have to do any drive in Arizona, do a major section of the 89A. It's absolutely beautiful, and you go through multiple different types of terrain and climate changes all in a matter of a couple hours. But right now we're going to finish up this crazy drive down the mountain, and we'll end up in Cottonwood at Dead Horse Ranch State Park. Looks like these sites are pretty packed in here. This is a really popular campground. It's a nice looking area, but I don't know why it's so packed all the time. I'm kind of curious what the big deal of this place is, but I guess we'll find out. I guess this is our spot. It is a pull through, so that's kind of nice. Well, I got everything set up at camp, and I'm a little late today. Did some rock crawling with some friends this morning on the way up, so don't have much time to kind of mess around here at the park. So I figured I'd come down here to the Verde River area and go for a walk. As far as the campground goes, it's nice, but I mean, you're really packed in there, so I don't really see what the big deal is. There's not a whole lot of seclusion to each site, but it is nice. It's quiet. It seems like a nice area. I've been to a couple of these parks that are really popular and overpacked, and honestly, I don't see the huge draw. But anyways, we're gonna go for a little walk down here. There is a lot of nice hiking trails in this area, though, from the little I've seen, and some very light mountain biking around the area, so it's always nice. And here is the Verde River. Or the Dirty Verde, as some call it. It's actually pretty clean water. I think we'll go hiking through the trees here. I think there's a lagoon or two that this trail may lead to. We'll go check that out. Seems like some really nice hiking. It's not bad. Must be a lot of runoff and overflow from the river here. A lot of these trees are all pushed back up here in the bank. I bet this is pretty nice come summer when all the trees get their leaves. And there's multiple sections here you can walk down and check out the river. Got some ducks swimming along. Nice and quiet back in here. Just hear the water rippling. It's pretty peaceful down in here. So maybe that's the draw of this park. A lot of nice calm hiking, and it's quiet. Wouldn't be a bad way to spend retirement. Just camping out, going for walks like this every day. Gonna head on up here topside, see what's going on over here. That is an old tree. Look at that. That is a pretty big tree. Got some pretty dense vegetation down here in this area. Kind of wishing I would have brought the fat bike. These would have been some pretty nice trails to just cruise around on. Well, about a mile in, so I'm going to turn around and head back the way I came. I think this trail just kind of loops around all the lagoons and heads back up. Every time I'm out walking alone and I'm in some dense brush, all I can think about is, what is out there? Bobcats, mountain kitties. It is kind of creepy. Every once in a while, do a little spin around and look back. You never know. Things like to creep up on you from behind and attack. I'm thinking this upper trail is a return trail back to where I started. Hopefully. Well, I guess I can see the draw to this place. It's pretty easy going as far as hiking and biking or horse riding. Everything's easily accessible. And it's very park-like, meaning in the park. Playground sets and nice trails that just follow the lagoon around, and you can go out there and fish. It's a shame I only have really a day to explore on these 3-day missions, but it'd be nice to sit around a couple days and just go for walks, I guess. Well, there's the truck. We didn't get lost. We found our way back. The sun is starting to go down. It's about 5 o'clock. So it's time to get back and make some dinner at camp. Well, back at camp. Time to make some dinner. But here's a little campground view. All right, let's get some dinner going here. Wow, would you look at that? That was fast. By dinner, I mean stop by the local pizzeria and pick me up a pizza. I was not feeling like cooking, but that was pretty good pizza. Yeah, I did not feel like cooking. Had about 3 hours of sleep, a 5-hour drive. We did about 3.5 hours RC rock crawling, by another 1.5-hour drive to get here to camp. So sometimes it's just a lot easier to just go pick up some food. But right now, I gotta do some camp chores. I gotta charge up some RC batteries, and then I'm gonna hit the hay early. We're gonna wake up early and head out to Sedona and do some RC rock crawling and exploring. See you in the morning. Oh man, I was so tired yesterday I didn't even bother setting up the bed. So I just pretty much slid out the one half, and then that was the end of that. Right now it is breakfast time and coffee time. We're going to be having some chilaquiles with carnitas. We'll see how this one is. Quick and easy. And some coffee, of course. Then we're going to head up to Sedona and do some RC rock crawling. And for those that aren't used to eating backpacker food, that is what it looks like. Just a bunch of freeze-dried chunks. But believe it or not, they are pretty darn good most of the time, especially when you don't feel like preparing a meal. Or you're in a tiny trailer and you don't want to make a mess and splatter grease all over everything. You just add some boiling water to specification, give them a stir, let them sit and hydrate. Being from the desert Southwest, I definitely know what real chilaquiles should taste like, but I'm not going to pass judgment. For today's coffee, we're going to have some Black Rifle Cactus Squatch. I guess it kind of goes with our Squatch theme. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. Let's take a look at these chilaquiles with carnitas. This one also has some corn and black bean. Now, I know you're thinking that looks pretty gross, but you just have to go into this thing thinking that it's basically a bag of a casserole mix or something. For a freeze-dried backpacker meal, that's not too bad. Not bad at all. I mean, it's not authentic, but it's close. Not bad. The taste is pretty good on this one. I would recommend that for a breakfast backpacker meal. Definitely. Well, the dump station is down for repair, so we won't be using the trailer bathroom this trip. But the nice thing is about the state parks is they usually have pretty clean bathrooms. For anyone that's wondering, we'll go take a look. Usually our state parks have some pretty clean bathrooms, and if you need to take a shower, they have some pretty nice shower facilities. So not bad at all if you don't have a trailer. Pretty quiet campground. Well, looks like we're going to be doing some real crawling to go RC crawling today. Doesn't look too bad, but I'm going to air down for comfort. These things are a huge time saver. These Ston tire deflators. Absolutely awesome. After you get them initially set with the tire pressure you want, you just thread them on. And they do their job, and when it's time, they automatically stop at the right pressure.
next bite, Rear, and you can do this.
Oh man. That was pretty cool.
That was sweet. Boy, that was really cool though, all that rock breaking off and just creating more of a challenge and just steadily working through it.
Let's see if I can rear steer while filming.
Yes, it's so close.
Yeah,
So
it's a
close.
tough. Oh, come on. Oh man, that was cool.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Get a little tight there.
Just a little bit. Oh, come on. Nice. Ooh, the rock wall of doom, man. Well, it was another pretty awesome weekend. Good day of crawling out in Sedona. And I think it's time to relax, call it a day, pack up early and head home. Till we do it again next time.